We are blessed to have a monthly technology segment here on the program that we call Byte Sized Insights. Byte being the BYTE type. And we're going to talk a little bit about today technology that is changing everything. Artificial intelligence. It is literally touching everything in every way. And we're in our infancy on this right now. But there's some good that can come on it, a whole lot of bad that can come on it, but a lot of good. And today we're going to chat with a physical security engineer from High Point Networks to talk about how they are able to do what they do. Aaron Zylla's here. Hey, Aaron, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. Good morning.
Glad to have you aboard today to talk a little bit about this. So, talk big picture about AI, first of all, and the good that can come from AI and the place we are now versus where we're ultimately going to be with this tool.
So AI is going to fill so many different areas of our industry, from technology to security to any and all industries. When it comes to some of the bad, a lot of people expect, AI, it's just going to be tracking me and following me around. Well, a lot of times we like to leverage that for the security element because we can have that camera count how many people are in a building for safety. So for fire codes, for all of those elements. So when it comes to that AI, it gives us the flexibility to have a safer and more secure environment for our customers.
So yeah, leverage it for the good and trust an expert, basically, right?
Unfortunately, yes. You got to trust somebody.
So let's talk a little bit about ways you can automate things. Like, you're a physical security engineer. What's your job day in and day out? What does a security engineer do? Physical security.
My job is everything from walking a customer's site, building a plan, proposing our plans to our customers, helping to install and set up and configure those, and then even towards the training of that. So when we finally are done installing that system, I can hand it off to our customer and I sit down with them and I just go through all of the steps. This is how you program your different recording steps. This is how you set up your action rules. I try to make sure our customers are as comfortable with the product as I am, by the time I'm done.
So for lack of a better term, this is about automation. This is about using technology to automate some of those steps.
Correct. And that is the important stuff, is that automation. So once you have that security system, you're spending all of this money. I mean, whether or not you have a full-time staff or not, automation is an essential next step. We provide both Axis Camera Station and Genetech Security Center for those software elements. And they have what is called a trigger and action ecosystem. Some basic examples of triggers is motion detection. Maybe somebody was loitering too long. Your camera read a license plate. You could even have a button at your receptionist's desk. Time of day, fire alarms. The list is very, very long. It might as well be endless.
So you caught me on a button at the reception desk. What does that mean? How would you use it?
We can just a physical button. If you want to lock the door, somebody suspicious is at the front door and your receptionist needs to lock that front door real quick. Or you can have it set off a light. You can play an audio tone. You can have it send an email. Whatever you want to do with that is programmable in just about any way. Those are just a few of those actions you can take.
Let's talk about some more examples. Like, if this happens at 2 a.m, how do I know about it? What does the notification process work like?
Well, that's perfect. You can do just about anything you want. So we have our alerts. So you can program your system to send out emails, mobile app notifications. You can raise alarms in the system. And then you can then automate on top of that. So when an alarm is raised, what other actions do you want taken? Do you want lights to be turning on? Do you want doors to lock? Who all needs to be notified? A lot of those different options. Even at my house, I programmed a light based on AI detection at a certain time of day. So between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. If it sees a person in my backyard, then my floodlight will turn on. So it's using AI to control that. And so it's not getting false positives from an animal just crossing through the backyard.
And then in addition to that, it tells you there's somebody in your backyard?
Correct. I can program that as well. I do have that set up. So even when I leave on vacation, I can program the cameras on my house saying, hey, if anybody's at the house, I'm not there. I need to be notified immediately. And I can get a little notification on my mobile app.
Tell us how you use audio to do a little head fake for potential intruders or whatever might be out there. What
Audio is another huge element. A lot of places use this currently with dumpsters, gas stations, the loitering alert. So your camera is watching your scene and it sees somebody's been hanging around too much. Then you can program a nearby speaker to play anything you want. The common one is, hey, the police have been notified and you're being recorded. Please vacate the premise. Very common on dumpsters where it's illegal to dump into somebody else's dumpster.
Wow. Give me other actions, maybe that we're not thinking of. These seem to be brilliant, but I'm sure there's, again, an endless supply of these. What other things are best practices do you find with your clients?
So a very common one is gates and access control. So a lot of our cameras do support the ability to read a license plate. And so if you pay for the software and you have all of that set up, then you can have a list of your employees' license plates built into the system. And so when your camera sees that license plate approaching the gate, it can automatically open the gate. So that's an easy easy action. Another one that we do a lot is leveraging the pan, tilt, zoom camera to focus in on areas of interest. So if you have a camera that can mechanically move around its view, you can program what it's looking at based on reports from a ground-based radar that's tracking a car, or integration into your industrial control systems for some of our industrial customers. So if you have a piece of equipment that's throwing out alerts or concerns or errors, you can then have that camera zoom in on that piece of equipment, see if it's on fire, see if there's somebody messing with it that shouldn't be. It allows you to get those kinds of views that you wouldn't otherwise have.
We're talking with Aaron, who is a physical security engineer at High Point Networks. You say Zylla or Zylla for your last
Zylla,
name?
like Godzilla.
Zylla. Aaron Zylla as the physical security engineer. This is our Byte Sized Insights segment. We do this once a month with our friends at High Point Networks because they do this day in and day out, and we just learn so much. A lot of what you talked about in the way of technology is incredible. Why wouldn't you want that level of protection on important assets to you in your company for sure? How about the cost? I mean, is there a way to use what you're talking about to save money? That there's things that physically are being done with security systems or whatever, but is this a budget buster? Tell me a little bit about the cost side of this.
I mean, a lot of the times, if you have the cameras already in your environment, the cost is already spent. It's just a few hours of configuration, maybe adding a few more pieces of hardware to help with some of those integrations with industrial control systems. You need additional pieces. But most people already sunk a bunch of money on this, and it's just the next logical step. It can, and I hate to say replace security staff, because you should never replace your full-time staff if you have them. It should augment them and should make their life more efficient. The city of Pueblo is a perfect example of that with our real-time crime center that we helped do. It's filling the gap with technology as a force multiplier. So you have your dispatch sitting there watching the big screen TV, and they're getting automated alerts, and they use things like ShotSpotter that enables rapid response to events. ShotSpotter can detect gunfire across the city, pinpoint its location, and then this real-time crime center can actually pull up nearby cameras. All of this is automated in the system, and it allows your dispatchers to see and respond to that and know, hey, maybe we need to send 2 or 3 officers out instead of 1. It allows you to take that rapid response and just fill that gap with that technology and make people more efficient.
What a great idea. Paging City of Fargo. This might be something you might want to consider, and it's done by a hometown company, for crying out loud. Wow, that could transform things. And I know, again, so many people will be creeped out by that level of surveillance. But obviously, it's a force for good. It's trying to prevent crimes. It's telling law enforcement, Here's what you're going to go into, So, and plus, that train's left the station, right? I mean, even if you didn't have a city real-time center, there's going to be enough cameras where they could, at private locations, where they can gather the same information anyway, right?
Absolutely. The real-time crime center provides a level of safety and security, and it's not trying to prevent like thought crimes. It's a rapid response system, so you can see it in real time, thus the name, and then ascertain the level of force required to deal with any incidents.
And all of this is a product of artificial intelligence?
Most of it, yes. Most of that part is dealing with that. Things like ShotSpotter, they use AI to train the audio receptors to identify the types of firearm used. So most of the ShotSpotter reports will actually tell you how far away it is, It'll triangulate its position and even tell you what caliber of firearm that was used.
Wow. Pretty incredible. And the AI part of this is just part of the DNA of whatever software you're talking about already, right? So it's not like it's an add-on or anything like that. It gives you the next level of detail.
Absolutely.
Wow. Anything else you want to tell us, Aaron?
Well, the segment's called Byte Sized Insights. You want a corny joke?
Yes, I'd love a little humor today.
All right. So how do you email a sandwich?
I have no idea.
You do it in bytes.
Oh, of course you do. Yes, take bite sizes. Yes, I love it. That sounds like a dad joke there.
It is. I admit.
I'm a computer scientist there. I love it. Aaron Zylla, physical security engineer at High Point Networks. This is the kind of work they do day in and day out. Great homegrown company. They are Tom McDougall and his whole crew, just amazing people. So encourage you to check that out. A lot to love there. Aaron, thanks for the time today. Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.